Okay, that was a little rough. Dogs come out and visit me all the time. Okay. Just playing with the old belt here. Right on. Hopefully I don't need this. Central command. Hey everybody! Fantastic! Everybody's having dinner. What do I have? Lots to show you tonight. Of course, we got Central Command to talk about. Make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. And we can talk about my dirty old shoes. Hey! Yo, howdy. As soon as I get a couple people on here, I'm going to show you my purse, my man purse. Oh, okay. See you later. As soon as I get a couple people on, I'm going to show you my man purse. We get a couple people to chat. I know it's dinner time. I already ate dinner, so I'm hanging out, sorting gear for. Hey, hello there. Just got invited to go down to Tijuana. I don't know if I want to go to Tijuana or not, but I may go, just because you know, if you know me, you know how that might go. Hopefully, good. How are you? Hey, one of you. I don't have super chat going on tonight. I'm going to show everybody. You know, it's going to be slow, so I'll show you since it'll probably be boring for you just sitting there. I got this. I don't know if you ride a bike or not, but it doesn't matter if you do or not. I travel, and everybody has money belts, you know, but I don't use those anymore. And this is like just the classic old North Face, you know, little purse thing, and that's fine. But like if you don't have this belt on it, it just swings around when you're riding the bike in front of you, you know. So today I had to ride. I don't know if you've been watching. I had to ride that notorious local trail, and it was like, hey, do I want to take something with me today? So I did my classic setup, little tectonic, you know, so I can move it around and I can get to. So as I'm riding, if I don't feel good or comfortable, I kind of move this in front of me so I can just grab like whatever I need out. If it's dogs, you know, I got my dog stuff in here, my little horn. But anyway, this is cool because all it is just your regular little man purse, but I put this little belt on it to keep it from swinging in front of me. And that's really easy to do. You just kind of take a regular belt and just loop it around each side to keep it from slipping, you know. And I'll show everybody again. I don't know, that might be a little. Anyway, ask any questions and say hello if you feel like it. Otherwise, I'm just sorting gear and trying to figure out what would I, if I go to Tijuana, what would I take, you know? My friend from Boston's coming out And you know, we met in Colombia, in Medellin. He's a well-traveled guy, but he's never been to Tijuana. Tijuana is actually worse than Medellin from my point of view. They got one of these new natural fiber shirts, you know, and I like wearing cotton, like white cotton t-shirts when I'm riding sometimes, but this is nice when you're hanging out. Hey, hold on a minute, my coffee. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you guys were here last time, but I drink the little afternoon coffee since I went to Colombia. It's kind of in my blood now. It's in my routine. Everybody has coffee between 2, 3, 4, 5. You never know. And strong, really strong coffee. No wonder everybody's so wired up, I guess. Anyway, yeah, there's the man purse I use, and I like it. You know, the other thing is, like when I have my coat on, it goes on real easy. But check it out. As soon as I just, and this thing doesn't slip off because I have it looped around there like that. And I've been like, you know, throwing it all over the place, and then had to book. I keep this right next to my bed when I'm traveling, which is all the time pretty much. And then I just have that, buckle it, and I always have it pre-buckled. Anyway, there you go. It's that easy. But if you keep this, we'll get out of the purse here in a minute. You just keep this on there like that. Now you can get elaborate and sew it on there. You know, a lot of people like to get a sewing awl, and I have a sewing awl. I don't know if you guys ever played with one of those. They're pretty cool. Like a wood handled, you know, deal. Anyway, we'll go back into the man purse later. I don't know if you guys are subs or not, but this is, you can always say, yeah, we already know, Darren. We've already seen that. This is Central Command here. And that's my little bag. I keep all my important goods in, like electronics, and then some other stuff, but like my power banks and stuff. You know, bike packing and bike touring, I kind of cross that a little bit. I go a little heavier sometimes, or I go lighter than a bike packer. It just depends on what I'm doing, you know. I'm going to go climb something. A lot of times I just take minimal because I don't wear a backpack on my bike. I just carry one bag, put the backpack on there on the bike, and then go and then repack. Because nothing on my back when I'm riding, just the sweat factor, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Some people it doesn't bother. I don't wear one of those little aqua packs or whatever, hydrate packs on my back. And, you know, I don't know. Some people just have, you know, you get itchy and sweaty. I don't like stuff. I don't like shit on my back, you know. Anyway, yeah, I do away with that. Hey, whoever came on just now, we're talking about the man purse. I'm probably your other person's probably gonna get bored, but this thing isn't really important. We got the man purse going on. I hope you're not the same person that came back. But anyway, you know, the basic North Face bag, and I just loop around a belt around each side when I'm traveling, no matter if I'm in South America, Nepal, India, Pakistan. I just have this thing and just like this. And when you're riding, I don't know if you've ever been riding with like a bag, like a computer bag around your shoulder, and it just slides in front of you. And that's why I mean, everybody's got their own little design, and they make stuff like this, but I did this because that was just driving the shit out of me. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna make something for myself. Comes the other folks here, have dogs. Here they come. They're gonna visit us. Anyhow, so yeah, pretty handy little deal. I carry when I'm traveling my passport, all my important stuff in here. Now, if I'm on my Sierra Cascade trip, I don't necessarily have all of that in here all the time. I have that front bag right there that I keep a lot of stuff in. And this thing is like, say I'm running through a bad area. like with dogs, anywhere, Mexico, just dogs, or like maybe there's some weird people, But anyway, this thing here, that'll scare the living daylights out of anything, anybody, and it's not to be messed around with. I did it once and scared a bunch of people, and then whatever, paid the consequences. And this thing's been around. This thing has saved me and caused me some problems, and all in one little can right there. Anyway, a whole life in a can. So I keep that in there. My bear spray. I have a little pepper spray, a small one, and I carry that with me too. But I'm not going to pull all that out right now. Anyway, now I'm going to hang around, because people are going to have dinner and maybe they'll come on. But I'll keep going through some stuff, and then you'll have to forgive me if like people show up and I talk about the same stuff again. But unless you ask me something, then I'm just going to keep rambling on, kind of like that Led Zeppelin song. And so, yeah, Central Command over here. Maybe you guys, this is the NSA watching me or something. It's not even a person. Hey, everybody. So look at all this. Heavy duty. Give me a thumbs up if you've already seen all this. And I'll move on because there's only two of you. If you've seen Central Command and you're like, Darren, you're just going through Central Command? What? Then I'll move on because I've got a lot going on. And I'm kind of repacking I don't know if you have both been here, but I may go to Tijuana in between Orcas Island. There's too many opportunities coming up all at once. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing other than repacking and getting ready. And reading this great little book here it's called Rambling Through the Sierra. Old book my former father-in-law left me behind after he died, and he was a Sierra buff. So I'm getting ready to get into that this evening right by the fire here at 90 degrees. Now I won't have a fire. But anyway, we have Central Command. That's what I take in Central Command and the GoPro and, things like cables and all that kind of stuff in there. While we're sitting here tonight, I'll probably talk about Central Command in some other ways because it's really important. It plays a really crucial role in tectonic travel. So, yeah, anyway, we'll throw this back on since another person just came on. We got a big crowd. All right. Thanks for coming in, you guys. I know it's dinner time, and you're probably just hanging out with family maybe or not. But I thought I'm repacking for I may go to Tijuana before Orcas Island. I don't know. Lots of stuff coming up. Doesn't matter. Have to repack after this Sierra thing. Did most of that, cleaning up the bike, but now getting into Central Command, all the electronics and then safety stuff, Mexico, So I don't take a money belt. I have this here's my man purse. And the reason I like this is just because it's great for riding. It doesn't slide in front of me. I'll just keep wearing this until later. So the other thing, nobody's giving me a thumbs up, so I'll keep rolling on some new stuff. I did a video earlier today about this. Now, this is something like everyone's talking about tent safety, camp safety. Well, I talked about, I don't take this everywhere I go, but since I started having the idea, I did start taking it, made the video. This is just my regular tripod for the bike that I put the GoPro on. I put a Wi-Fi camera on it. It's connected to my phone, the app. So I'll stick it like if I'm fully loaded on the bike. Not fully loaded, loaded weight-wise. I don't do that. Anyway, so I'll just stick it underneath everything, and it's got a wide view. So I can be in the store or in the produce aisle going, God, I feel weird about my bike, even though it's locked up, and see, well, hey, somebody's messing around with my bike. Whatever. I've never had that happen, really. I don't think. Anyway, so also this was for the tent idea, sticking up in a tree. I had a bunch of weird noises outside my tent one time. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start doing this. Nobody gave me this idea. Now it's all over the internet. I know there's some like people that were already doing it, but I was like, I was hoping, hey, maybe I'm helping somebody out by doing that because it sure makes me sleep better. That and the Bluetooth speaker that I did have that big growling dog on, real loud, and big bass, and it scared the shit out of anybody. Excuse my language, out there. So anyway, I use that, and then because I go, if I was just going out for the weekend, sometimes it'd be a different story. I just roll the dice, but I roll the dice just a little too much, and the odds are someday I'm gonna need that. So somebody asked me the other day, they're like, "Oh, what are you trying to disappear or set up to disappear?" Well, no, the opposite. I'm trying to stick around. So people are. I get weird comments on here. I found out since I got into this YouTube thing, I get all sorts of wacky comments. But yeah, so camera that's part of Central Command now. Central Command here. I know I say that enough. We'll just call it the box now. Like when I'm traveling, I don't take a bunch of books. I have my book that I wrote. That's a little thin thing that's in the videos. Sometimes I show you, but I'll take something thin sometimes and throw it in there. You never know, when you're going to need a book. And in Nepal, this is not for everybody. All right, plug your ears if you can't handle something. We had this book in Nepal that we took with us. In Nepal, Kathmandu, they got these little bookstores, and we would, hey, good evening, Bartio. Good to have you, man. Nice videos you're making, man. Great music, great playlist for us cyclists, hikers, and this is Bartiemo, my great friend. You got to check him out if you get a chance. He's got some great playlist stuff for us, outdoors people who want to listen to a little music while we're rolling along, or just like while we're hanging out. Thanks, buddy. Great music, great. The stuff I love. Me, that a lot of Latin music, and Spanish guitar while I'm riding. So yeah, we were just looking at this Bardio that my father-in-law left. And that is a great one. I haven't even started it. I just know it's going to be good, though. And we were talking about Nepal. Well, I better not tell this story. Well, I'll tell it real quick. In Nepal, there's lots of little bookstores in Kathmandu and Pokhara and places like that. So you go in and buy these little books, or you can trade a book. A lot of people will trade a book. And we had one. It's about climbing it's a fictional Everest called Rum Doodle. And it's one about a fictional mountain, Rum Doodle. And these guys, they go to climb Rum Doodle. And anyway, they drink a lot. And they're old British guys. It's an old, famous book. So we bought Rum Doodle before we went climbing up on Annapurna. And so the deal is we ran out of toilet paper. Into that story. So there you go. That's mountain stuff, Mountain money. Mountain paper. Central Command. We'll just keep it handy for everybody. Hey, Bardio, did you just get here? Did you see the purse idea yet? I have. Yeah, I'm loving the tunes. All right. So, Bardio, you probably have a nice setup for safety. Your safety. But I was packing I might go to Tijuana. So, I was supposed to go to Orcas Island, which I am. But then now I got a call from a friend in Boston. He says, hey, I got to go to Tijuana. Do you want to go? And he's a guy I met in Colombia. He's a good friend, and he wants me to go with him. So I was thinking, all right, how do I want to pack for that part of I'm going to Mexico a lot. So anyway, because I'm right here. So I'm reading a little. Oh, you ordered really? Thanks dude. Thank you. Oh, Bob. What? Hey, Bob. Wait. Hey, Darren, I just ordered that. Oh, dude. Right on. You're okay. Here's the deal with the book. It's not a story, and you probably already know that if you saw the video. It's not a story. There's sections in there that I kind of translated from something somebody told me, and I used as lessons and tools, to get through the rough stuff. And that book, I don't know, balancing your load on the bike, on the glacier like I did, climbing, trying not to fall in crevasses into the dark places. That was my analogy for life. And I give out, it's a thin book, but there's a lot in there if you just really go slow. Sometimes it may be a little too much. Sometimes, uh, it's not spiritual. It's just, it's what it is. It's from the heart, and it's also from sort of a teaching that old Lama Rinpoche said, "Hey, do you know how to do this?" And so it's not like The Secret that, there's no secret to it or anything. But man, I used the book, just used it on the bike trip, and I give a couple away while I'm biking. All right, I'm going to read a little, catch up. Sorry. All right. Forgive me for holding off here. I'm slow, you guys. Donald, right on. How are you? Thanks for coming in, or thanks for joining us. Barbecue iguana, really? Oh man. Thanks for. Hey man, right on. Yeah. So iguana, we have that's a story. Oh, all right. I got to tell the iguana story. Um, it's great to have people on here. All of a sudden, there's all sorts of things to talk about. Let me get better situated. Hey, real quick, if you just got here, I'll just get this done. My man purse, right? I don't know, might be too much for everybody, but when I'm riding, if you guys are cyclists, and this is my new natural fiber shirt too. I love these things. I like cotton though, really too. So when I'm riding, and I'm going through those sketchy places, I was thinking because today I had to go twice down that bike trail I've been talking about, and other places. It's weird. And I mean, I find this sketchier than Medellin, Colombia sometimes. Anyway, so I'm, biking, and my bag's always like, in front. So, I know you're all smart enough to figure this out, but I finally just got tired of it, and then and I wrap this belt. Now I use it when I'm rolling through somewhere sketchy, so I can grab something out of there, and I can grab my little, pepper spray or whatever I'm carrying, and I could get that out. But and it's real simple, if you just have one of these little any throw over bag that you're using I think is a bummer because it slips in front. So I just take the belt and just loop it around each side of the belt like that, just a belt. And you could sew it on there with a sewing awl, like I was telling somebody before. But anyway, just another tectonic trick. Anyway, let me have a drink of coffee here. It's a wonderful coffee at 80 degrees. It's not bad, a little windy here. And that's why you hear all the noise out here. Probably sounds weird. Donald, man, thanks for coming in. And Bardio, let's see, everybody, man. Bardio, Bob, man, thanks for buying the book, man. Yeah, I'll get some barbecued iguana. So the iguana, this is a great setup you have. Quick access. Yeah, I can get in there fast when I'm riding through, and I can just kind of slide in front, the purse I'm talking about, and have it there. Now I'll stop, like if I see some kind of like, here I'm going through like a narrow street, and I did this a lot in South America, like all the time. Actually, this is a newer bag. That one just started falling apart, and I would just have it unzipped, like when I'm rolling down through. And you can keep your coat on, and kind of half zipped, and just reach in there and grab whatever the heck you want, and that's it. All right. Yeah. So the iguana, my climbing partner, who I don't know if he's watching, probably not. He's not into YouTube. I think he's on YouTube. Pat Line. He's my best old climbing partner friend, and we've been all over the world together. And so he loves reptiles. He's a reptile guy. And I'm not. We've been to Thailand together, and he just loves. He just got really into that part. But we were there to climb, so for me, there wasn't a lot of time for reptile stuff. But they were but no experiences there. But he used to. First time I visited him in Vegas, and like I was in my 20s, he had one of these small alligators, like a monitor or some alligator, in his bathtub. While he'd give it a bath every night or let it sit in his bathtub. And he said, yeah, it'll, he'd have these big gloves on, to move it around. And I go, oh, why do you have that thing? That's like, and he goes, yeah, it'll bite you, And but he goes, it won't get out of the bath. Don't worry. So you go in I go in the bathroom to use the bathroom, and that alligator's in the bathtub is about this big, It scared the shit out of me. And then later he got this iguana, and it's a big one. He lived in Salt Lake City at the time, and in this little apartment with a narrow hallway, and it had a cage, and he would just let that thing. He would pull it out and let it wander around. It wouldn't bother you. It did have these big claws, and it was like, scratch on stuff and all the time. It was pretty annoying at night. And he had been scratched by it, but it never bothered me. But what it would do is it would like crawl around at night and be watching TV, sitting on his couch or just hanging out. And it would come up to the couch real slow. Like you almost not even, you get so used to him there, and he's just like crawling over to and pretty soon he's right by your toes. And so like every time I would go there, I would just sit cross-legged on the couch. I'm like, yeah. And the other thing is, you want to go, down the hall to use the restroom, and the iguana is like, it's going to be a good video. The iguana, although you guys have already seen it now, iguana be like in the hallway, and you couldn't get. And if you tried to get around him, this iguana, it would hiss and make this weird noise, and yeah, I hated that. Yeah, and he thought it was funny. Just leave it there. I'll have to tell you more about Pat because that's the guy I made a video about losing him in Annapurna Sanctuary, and I didn't really tell. I don't want to do a members only on here. I don't want people to pay money, so I'm trying to figure out how you can hear all these gnarly stories without, me getting in trouble on YouTube and saying things. But I will say that story has a lot more to it, and Pat has done. I should say we have done some stupid things, and I wouldn't say he talked me into them, but it was like I was trying to follow Pat. We went around the world, and our first time together was, epic. And we went to climb a peak near Annapurna called Tent Peak. It's called, look it up if you ever are interested. It's called Tharpu Chuli, but we call it Tent Peak, and it's considered a trekking peak, but a trekking peak. And we went there thinking, oh, it's just a trekking peak, man, no problem. And we're Alaskan, we were like seasoned climbers, but we went there and just got our asses handed to us. But it was a great experience, and been back many times since, and even worked there. And that's when I feel like lifetimes ago. Yeah, that alligator iguana thing, man. Forgot about that for a long time. And he likes spiders too. So when we were in Thailand, we had hey, if you have any questions, everybody, I'm just rambling on like that, like that song. I'm just rambling on here because ask questions. Hey, and Bart, man, I'm just gonna call you Bart. That keeps getting me every time. I can't ever say it right. Everybody, check out Bart's music, man. Bartomeo will be his playlist. Now, you got me though with the Spanish tunes. That was it. I was in at that point, and I don't listen to. I don't, even though I have them here in Central Command, I never use them. Earbuds. I just never use them. When I'm traveling, if I'm going to listen to something, it's usually on my little speaker inside the cup holder here, And I have a small speaker. It's the one I scare off raccoons and whatever's outside the tent with. I leave it all ready to go with that noise on it. And hey, everybody who just joined. Okay, let's see. So yeah, Bob, about the book, let me know. There's some errors in it. I'm gonna do another edition. They're just some spelling errors, but I didn't write that book to like be a, to get rich or something or sell a bunch of books or anything. I had to write that book. That book ended up being my handbook and still is to this day. Even on this last Sierra trip, I was like, I had some, I had, it was weird. You know, that, have you guys ever, I'm sure you have, careful what you preach, practice what you preach. And I was faced with that one real hardcore up in the Sierra, and I had to reach deep. And I forgot about my book. I was like, oh, you idiot. You know, look at what you're doing. You're totally doing exactly the opposite of what your book keeps you on track for. So I was like, I reach in my bag and I read. And it's weird. I just read one page of that. And it isn't because it's my book. It's because it's about balancing the load. It's about getting across. It's about, you know, and staying, you know. Now here's another thing about the book that's very important is, um, you know, they'll get upset with me because I don't like words and language very much because it, you know, they're not our friend. Like vibration is what I use because it's energy and vibration. And everyone's, oh, what's that all about? You know, well, I'll just tell you what it's all about, and you know what it's all about. You don't need it. I don't need to tell you what that is. So if I do, then wow, man. So anyway, you can just, I can tell when I leave. When I leave, kind of the zone of the news and all the unnecessary stuff. Now I got to put up. We all put up that, you know, that's the book. Put up with the necessary bad stuff because that's going to always be there. But I had to learn how to deal and do away with all the unnecessary stuff. And once I did that, and I mean, once I really did it though, once I really said, oh, I'm not going to go watch that, or I'm not going to go watch the news, especially during, you know, the Biden and the whole thing with the Trump and the, you know, I don't take sides, but oh boy, I knew what was going on. So I got out of it. And I stay informed, you know, but that's it. And I got rid of that negative energy and then feeding on every, you know, and that dark energy feeds off that. And so I wasn't going to feed that dark stuff anymore. I quit doing it. And then I find myself like, oh, there I am, but way less than I used to. I mean, I learned this lesson long ago, but I'll fall back into the trap. That's why I wrote the book, and that's why I did what I did with my lessons in Colombia and all that crapola that, you know, that I went through. And once you go through it, you're like, you know, there's a, you know, I was telling somebody I don't drink anymore, and I don't. What do I say? I don't look down on anybody who drinks. You know, we all have our things. You know, I do other things, and we all have vices and things. You know, and you know, I'll go to, not anymore. I used to go to AA meetings when I thought I needed them, and I was still hadn't found. You know, it's because I hadn't really died yet. You know, but then everybody's eating sugar and cakes and you know, just going off. And I was like, wow, I went from that to sugar, and I got that. That's what I started doing. So once I processed that out of me, and also what happened to me in Colombia has a lot to do with it. I didn't go to you know, whatever rehab center. Oh, listen to all the dogs going, all that. I did it a different way. Anyway, and everything's gone forward. We've got everybody around, neighbors, roommates. Yeah, a lot of noise in the world. Yeah, that speaker works great. Yeah, Bob, some of it won't make sense and some of it probably will. I always tell people, you know, about the book, I'll say, you know, if your ego's bulletproof, you know, you may not need this book right now, but when the road gets a little bumpy, it'll come in handy. That's why it's thin and you can fit it in your pannier or your backpack. Yeah, the biking saved my life. Bike had a lot to do with it. My daughters, my bicycle, my family, you know, but those are the things, and then some other elements, you know, that came into play. But yeah, man, the more I turn the wheel, you know, I won't always be able to, so uh, I'll just do it while I can, right? I just kind of do that and accept that someday that'll end, and I'll be on the electric bike probably, and sooner than later, maybe, who knows? But yeah, by the way, I tried an electric bike, and hey, welcome, JW, Florida. Sorry if I can't read that well. I'm a blind old guy here. Trying to figure out how to make the text bigger on here. You did? When did you do that? Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And you've been able to look at it, it sounds like. It's real. It's from the heart. That's all came from me. And well, some of that was suggested how to put that together by my Lama friend, that Tibetan Lama. But I mean, I'm not a Buddhist. I just he was someone real close to me, and he said put it in this context, and I said all right. And so I made up the glacier as the analogy and all that. Yeah, right on, man. JW. Thank you. That means a big deal. That's a big deal to me. Yeah, we'll talk about Colombia. Trying to figure out how to put that in the right context. Yeah, the earthquake. Sorry, I'm bouncing around here trying to catch up. I'll get better at this. I'm gonna do this on the people here were telling me I could do it on the television, so I'm gonna do that. But right now we're out here doing this. Well, yeah. So I heard about the earthquake too. I haven't talked to anybody up there. Now all my friends not all of them, most of my friends live in the interior, up near Denali and Fairbanks, Healy, Wasilla. But I haven't heard. I gotta, actually, I've been so busy. I haven't looked at a lot of messages. I need to get in there and look. But I've worked all over out where that is and was. I worked. Trying to think exactly. It'd be. Well, I think King Salmon is one of them. Isn't part of the Aleutians? I got to look closer. It's right behind this screen here. But I'd rather talk to you guys, but I should check that out. JW, I gotta. So here's a problem. Since I have you guys, only 7 on you now. I can tell you, I'm having a problem keeping the live feed, and they've been telling me, do it this way, do it, and then all these suggestions. I've had everybody tell me, if you have a suggestion, let me know. But I found out that other people have this problem with this browser. So since I'm glad there's only this many of us, I'm going to remember you tonight. Obviously, I have, Bart, I've talked to you a lot, but Bob, and then also JW, Florida, man, Donald. Yeah. So I'm going to go through my list. Maybe you guys, if you don't mind, could make a comment in there. Just say, it's me from the live or something. And I'll remember. And then that way, once I comment, I can put you in a group there. And then that's the only way I can keep track of everybody that's talking to me right now. And luckily, there's not a million people, talking to me. Southern Tier, yeah. So interesting. Yes. I'm not planning on doing a Southern Tier real soon, but I'll be doing part of it. Now, this is my departure out of here for my Copper Canyon trip. I will be going that way to leave the United States. I'm not going to go through San Diego, Tijuana, and go down that way. I am going to be going down to Tijuana with my friend Antonio from Boston pretty quick here. Could be, I think it's next week or something. And I don't know if I'm ready for it, but that's why I'm out here packing tonight, figuring that out. So when I go to the Copper Canyon, I'll be going that way. And how I would pack for that one, that's going to be that's going to be great because you'll get to see that. I'll do a video how I'm packing for the Mexico, that trip, Central America. And the way I'm going to be doing that trip real quick is I'm going to be going and then stashing the bike, coming home. And I'm going to be going and then coming home. Because I pretty much live down there, eventually. I go down there and back, but eventually I'll be staying there in the Eastern Sierra half the year. So, okay, so packing for it, yeah. It's cold, believe it or not, man. Depending on what time of year, at nighttime, as you get into Mexico up in those mountains. But I'm gonna read your thing here a little more. Planning trip, U.S. Southern Tier, Trans-America, Northern Tier, not real soon. Parts of it going up to Montana to see my cousin. Let's see, how do you prepare a purchase? Thank you. You got the book from Amazon. Okay. Thanks for explaining that about the web browser. Yeah, Bart, I can't get it. Said you were. Let's see. Said I finished. Sorry. Said I finished what? JW. I'm losing you on that one. Well, Bob, real quick. I planned the route, but that's kind of my whole thing. Is I do a lot of detours. That's why I got the road hopper, because I'll plan a paved route. So it's not like I'm going down to do like the Baja Divide or just a dirt route the whole way, because that's kind of the big deal now is people want to do the dirt the whole way, and that's not me. I'm pavement, dirt, gravel, really, not trail usually, maybe a little. That's why I went to this bike for now. Will I break it? I don't know. I've tried. I've got a lot of weight on there. It's not steel. But yeah, that's kind of the deal with that. Yeah, so I'll venture off the route. And now, I'm still old school. Like, I like maps. I know I got a GPS. I still take my GPS. I have everything. But say I'm going to take a certain route and I want to know like the contour lines. Yeah, you got that on your GPS. But I like to have a map sometimes so I can like pull it out and just I have marks on it and stuff like that. And but that's not everywhere I go. I'm not gonna be carrying around a bunch of maps. But if it's a special route I'm doing, I will get a map, take it with me, paper map. Sometimes I'll even laminate it. Not really. Sometimes I'll keep it in plastic. But yeah, I like maps still, and I will plan my route for sure, knowing especially the like the ones that I'm out of the country. In America, I don't know. Yeah, America, I don't seem to wing it too much. I know my route, know where I'm going to go, and I'm not as spontaneous when I'm in America, when I'm in the U.S. When I'm in South America, man, I just be somewhere and go, man, I want to go here. I'm gonna and wave down a van, like maybe not wave down just some shifty old van, but like go into town and go, hey, where do I get a ride to? And I go, oh, that guy right there, just give him $50. And he'll take you 200 miles, So, and it'll be an experience you never forget. You'll meet a guy and he'll probably stop at his grandma's and we'll have lunch. And it's a whole different experience out of here. Although I will say some of my best have been here. So back roads. Yeah, I do. Depending on where it is, I've made a lot of videos about like out around Klamath Lake and between Klamath Lake and like Klamath Falls, all up in that area, Crater Lake. I'm sorry, all that area. In general, I love it. Here's the thing: is I think it's the coolest area. It's got such a weird feel, and weird stuff happens to me and everybody else every time. I've got so many more stories, and then I just so I have a relative who still lives up in Southern Oregon. He said, you ought to tell them about so and so, this couple that were outdoor educators disappeared. Anyway, I try to stick with stories are mine, but if it's cool enough, I'll tell somebody else's story, and that's why I asked other people to share. And I'm gonna, once I get the software figured out, I'll bring on a couple people. But again, tonight was sort of spontaneous. No super chats. That's what I want to say about the super chats. Hey, thanks for those, Apache and Barrio and you guys who did that. But I'll do those once in a while when I want to drum up a little support for, the trip and all that. But I want people to come on here and talk and not feel like it's going to cost money, or that I expect, hey, there he is again, No, I want to, hey, man, there's 13 people here now. So I want to, make dialogue, learn from everybody. Like I showed you this, right? I know it's going to be boring for a couple of you for a second, but who I already showed this to, my man purse. And there goes 3 people just for saying. Anyway, I'm going to show you anyway. This is what I started doing. And I'll just start from the beginning. I'm getting ready to go down to Tijuana next week probably. So I was like, all right, I don't carry a money belt. So, there, my most recent video. Yeah, right on. Old school maps. Yeah, thanks, Bob. You like that? I'm an old schooler. I've got another, I think you're on there, aren't you, Bob? A couple of you guys might be. I got another one called Old School Traveler, and then Uncle D's Weird and Wacky Super Psychedelic Cyberspace. There's like 6 people on there, but it's only when I need to go over there and unload. It's like having it's like going to have a beer with your buddies, Anyway, so the man purse, and then and you're riding and things right in front of you. Now I carry this. I'm definitely carrying this a lot lately down on that bike trail, So I was like, so I always rig up my little thing here, And so basically all it is just a belt, and I just loop it, around, and I just do one corner like that. And then so when I'm traveling, and I'll do this especially in other countries, money belt to me is just it sticks to your skin. You got it under your shirt, and I guess maybe sometimes that's okay, But with this here, it doesn't roll in front of you when you're riding. And, whatever protection you have. Hey, look at there. I got it on wrong. It's all right. So whatever protection you have on you in there, or just your stuff, right? And so I just like this because it won't roll in front of me when I'm riding. And so everybody left. Oh, no, you're all there. But anyway, I like that. Bardio, you saw that about 3 times. But I'll just kind of put it in front of me when I'm riding, and there's dogs, down the trail, or maybe a couple people peeking out of the woods. I'll just have that ready to roll. And just while I'm riding, I can have my coat on over it. No biggie. I don't wear it all the time. I don't like anything around me while I'm riding all the time. But if it's a sketchy area, and like, say I'm going to get rolled off the bike, like has happened to me a couple of times in Colombia, then I'm going to have this on me, and I'm going to put my arms around that, that's going down with me with all my, what. So man purse, and believe me, this is like, let's see, what do you call it? Tested. It's tried, true, and tested. So right on. Yeah, you like the old school map. And I'll even cut them down or whatever. If it's a special area. Now I learned, I'm big on not. Now, even though I have a compass, I was like taught outward bound, that's where I started. And you had to know, you learned how to read a compass, and you had your quad maps, your 15-minute quads, and they have contour lines, and you could see how steep it was going over a pass or a peak or anything. And that was it for me. I was like, all right, paper maps, And then in outward bound, I spent a semester when I was 18 And I've talked about it before. I think I even made a video about it on here. And but yeah, after Outward Bound, what happened was I got back from Outward Bound and I couldn't sleep inside. You know, my mom was like, "Man, what's wrong with him?" You know, I would not sleep inside. I'd sleep out on the porch and on the back deck, and I had a excuse me, I had a Peak One Coleman stove back in the day, and way to secure your bag. I'm reading here a second. Yeah, yeah, I don't like it when the bag swings in front of me, like a computer bag, and all that kind of stuff. Thanks, Bart. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know while I'm just rambling on here. There's always lots to talk about. Colombia. The reason I don't talk about Colombia a ton here is because I have another channel, and I don't even use it anymore. It's called Medellin and Beyond or something like that. But a lot of people here aren't really interested. And I talked about this the other night with some of you guys, and you said, "Yeah, tell the stories." So I will. What I'm trying to do is just like instead of do a bunch of spread out. I'll tell a really try to put it in context because you might take it out of context. That's what I've been worried about. So it's all good though. Tarpcraft, right on. Really? I just got a new one. Amazon. I like to go shopping and buy stuff, but I bought one on Amazon. So for that, I bought one for that video. I have a couple, and they're already, I'm tectonic traveler. I mean, I'm going through tarps. Oh yeah, I can't sleep outside. Sorry, I have a short-term memory there for some reason. So I can't sleep outside. Inside, as after Outward Bound, and I'm like, what do I do? And eventually I kind of moved back indoors. But then I went to Alaska and I became a guide, and my life was outside all the time. So I'm still like that. I don't really, even though I enjoy a nice hotel or a nice little cozy pad. I had a house in Alaska, a small pad. Me and my ex-wife, my former wife, Trudy, we had property actually. We didn't have much of a house, but we had property. And over the years, I've had several different situations, but every time I have outdoor living. I like a place to be outside. I don't want to be inside. And so I'm kind of funny like that. I like. We're gonna do tarp craft, and tarp craft is an outward bound. This is it. Now, an outward bound, they didn't give us tents, and it was September. Now, luckily, it was September because there was no bugs. So September. It was late August, September, October. So we had snow. We went into snow mountaineering, like not ice climbing and stuff, but it was a winter mountaineering partly. That's where it all fell into place. So yeah, tarp craft, and here's how it was just like, okay, you guys get a partner, right? You're in a patrol of 6. You get your buddy, your friend, and they give you one tarp, and you guys sleep under the tarp. So you get 2 sticks. Every night you got to find 2 sticks. No ice axes for the first part of the trip because there was no snow. So they give you just, hey, go get a stick. You got your tarp and your string and your helmets. And we would use our helmets on top of the stick, and I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, classic. Or I have 10 different ways, but I have one that I really love, and the knot is key, and the knot is something that not a lot of people know. I'm going to show you the knot. I would show it to you right now, but I don't have any string. JW, man, thanks for buying the book. All you guys who bought the book, thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Ramble On, that's the song. I'm an old Led Zeppelin. When I was a kid, I went to go see The Song Remains the Same. It was like a race, with a few of us. Well, over 100 times. Midnight movie. Maybe not 100 times the Midnight movie, but then it came out on video, so we counted that. But I went every Saturday night, every time it came through town at our local theater. We had one of those classical theaters, with all the everybody being there, having their beers, and they'd be all smoky in the theater. It was pretty cool. That's how I grew up. All right. Yeah, tarp crab. Talking about stoves, yeah. Oh, stoves. So well, all right. So I've had a lot of stoves and I still have stoves. In Alaska, I still have some stove. Like I have a little box of stoves. And Whisper Light is my favorite stove of all time, and the XGK. So that's an MSR product, which is, has always been my favorite. But now I've been using, here's how I travel. I only boil water. Now, I will take a little pan and make, fry up some stuff once in a while. But I shouldn't say I'm different, but I'm this way. Is I want water for coffee or to add to like potatoes or something. I don't like dehydrated stuff very much, but I will take it. Anything I can add water to, though, is good, but especially for drinks. And then I carry like bagels and cream cheese and maybe some salami and some chocolate. That's, and some maybe granola, but not peanuts, whatever. That's my deal. Coffee in the morning, right? Now, I know I'm not the healthiest start out. Hippie speedball is what we call it. Coffee and my other favorite thing that I can't talk about. And then I have like my bagel. I get my good breakfast, some grains, and then my banana. And then I don't carry a bunch of food. Now I didn't bring it out. I just carry what I need for the morning. And then I have that emergency bag, which is, this isn't it, but it's like this. And it's got potatoes in it, tuna, emergencies. And I stop and eat. That's what I stop and eat. And I'll get a burrito like about 10 o'clock, like from a good Mexican place that I've heard of or I've looked up or something. But stuff like that. Now it depends though if I'm gonna go. Okay, so then I'm gonna go. Make sure I'm keeping up with y'all, man. Yeah, good old days there. So yeah, the stove. I don't have it out here, but a jet boil. Now I've broke 2 jet boils and ended up just throwing them and smashing them and stepping on them. So I'm really hard on things. And so I got this on my last trip. I just bought a cheapo jet boil. It's not a jet boil. It's like it's a knockoff jet boil, like a made for hunters. It was all camouflage around it and stuff. I just took that off and like put something around it, and it's worked better than the jet boils. It's lasted longer than the other jet boils, and I heat up a lot of water. So yeah, without getting real. But since we're all here, hey, right on. I think I'm. So there's 8 people here. If anyone else has any questions while I'm talking to everybody, hey, look at this. So here, I'm unloading a couple things to show you what I was thinking about taking down south because I'm going to ride a little bit and down to Tijuana next week. If I go, I'm still kind of scared. Anyway, and the guy I'm going with, he's a great guy. Antonio, sorry, but you know the truth. In Medellin, he likes to go out and get after it and, get out and see the scene and the beautiful women and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's I won't be going there. But I thought it might make a good video to film him. Hey, there's my book. So I keep it in that thin part of my pan here. And you know what I like about doing this talk is I don't have to edit anything. Anyway, and I keep it in the thin pouch in there. And that's my book, Transcending. If you just got here, navigating. Basically, it's not so much about navigating the new time. It's about any time. That could be in 100 years. This book is for any age. It's not about any people, any person. It's not. It's not time. There, right? JW or any of you who've read it, a little bit of it. It could be in any generation, I think. Anyway, just about soaking up better vibrations and hey, and also I was like helping other people when you can. I feel so lucky that's why I carry a couple extra books. Somebody might throw that away after I give it to them. thinking it's a, Jehovah's Witness, or sorry, that it's a, shoot, sorry I said that, but that it's some sort of book, about religion or spirituality or something. It's not. And I guess I can say anything I want, huh? As long as I'm not offended. I'm trying not to offend anyone. But yeah, anyway, a great book. And I wouldn't have said so if I didn't think it was. This summer was great to test it out. I tested out my book. Oh yeah, oatmeal, instant coffee. Oh yeah. Oh, you let it soak in there? Okay, yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, I like that idea. Do you, Bob? Do you ride, camp, or what? I like. If you don't ride bikes here, that is okay, man. I'm into camping and hiking and just hanging out by the fire and talking, and that's what I hope I'm getting that across to everybody. That this just isn't about constantly bicycling and tectonic traveling and flying around the planet. You know, that's not the truth. The truth is I'm sitting down sometimes and hanging out. And I'll be doing that all the time. Tarps. Oh, tarps. Yeah, I was gonna do a video on the tarps. Can't really do that. Like I'm gonna do it out on the grass where I can put some stakes in and stuff like that. I would do it right now. I got the brand new tarp here and everything. But I will say it's very simple. Everybody has trekking poles now. Lately I'm not. I don't take them on bike trips, but hiking I do. And you can use two of those, one on each end. You don't care. Everybody doesn't use helmets, right? But that's what we used in Outward Bound. You don't need a helmet. Some string line. The tarp string line. You can find sticks anywhere unless you're in the desert, I guess. I was just in stickless lands. Man. Somebody said, do I use a hammock? Well, I have a hammock, but I'm out in the desert a lot. And it's like, I know there's ways you can set it up, and all that. I've tried it, and it just fills up with sand. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that didn't work out too good. Okay, so on long trips, Bart, excuse me. I'm not losing my voice tonight, at least. So yeah, mileage wise, if it's mountainous, okay, like say this last Sierra trip, I left from my cousin's house in Sonora, California, and I was going to start up there over Sonora Pass, but it wasn't open yet, so I went up over Carson Pass. Real steep for the first few days. Like a bike packer, a road cyclist would have been up it. It's 60 miles straight up. You'd do it in a day. Real windy and steep. But I had 80 pounds of stuff, so there wasn't doing it in a day. And so I did. I mean, this is going to sound like not much. That first day, I only did like 16 miles, all uphill though, heavy load. That's what's weird. It seemed like, sometimes I won't look, and I will kind of know where I'm going. Like, okay, I know that next town. I don't want to. I don't watch on a GPS. No way. Unless I'm like real, I got to, and there's a road I got to catch. But if I kind of know, all right, just up this damn road, that many miles, I'm not going to look. Ride. And exactly, Bob. So I just ride straight up. And but what I'll do is I won't overdo it. My first day, I just kind of go, okay, I'm going to just take it easy. I stop early. I stop early enough to make sure I got a good camp spot. If I'm going to stealth camp, I want to stop early. I try not to like plan it out where I got to push some big mileage to make it to the next place, especially if you're doing town to town, you got a hotel or something like that. That's a tough one. I used to do that. I did that a couple times. I would just, if I'm guiding a trip, it's sometimes tough. If I'm doing that like in the Sierra and we've got to get to like a hot springs or a hotel or not, and there's like, there's no help getting there. Here down in South America, I just wave down a van. Hey, help, pick us up to the next village. We're off and going. So different dynamics. So I'll plan short days in mountainous terrain, long ass days in the straights and rollers, rolling hill. And one of the beautiful things about front weight and the back weight being even is out there in those rolling hills, you can get that momentum going. I don't know if you guys have ever been able to experience that momentum, you know. I think that's what life is all about. And you get that momentum, and you're in. It's not always though, but you can get it in certain areas. And that front weight carries you along, and that back weight's kind of pushing you. And 80 pounds, yeah, I know. 80 pounds is ridiculous, but if that's like carrying full water, people will say, "Well, that's all your gear." No, that's like water crossing some desert section, although, or crossing going uphill. Where on that, here's a good one. I ran out of water near Mount Shasta. Go figure. Coming to my first trip, coming from Klamath Falls. That first gnarly trip where I couldn't. That's a big story behind that one. Couldn't find that house, the imaginary house. Remember? And so I get up that hill and I'm out of water. I'm like, oh, I'll find water outside between Doris and Mount Shasta. There's got to be water. And there wasn't. There was no water. It's all volcanic. So it's porous. Everything is porous. And so the top is dry, pine needles and burnt. So the volcanic rock is not holding any water. There's no creeks. There's no rivers until you get to Grass Lake on Highway 97, man, outside of Weed. That saved my life. Grass Lake saved my life. If any of you know where that is. Mileage doesn't matter. What matters is that you're having a good-ass time. A good time. Yeah, that's true. To each their own. Yeah. Yeah, I don't push it too hard. Now, yeah, I say that. What's funny, when I'm alone, I will go, oh man, I got to get to there, and I'll push it. I pushed it too far many times. I mean, to the point where I couldn't even, my legs were cramped up so bad, or I was so hurting that I couldn't make one more pedal. And that one, if you guys have ever heard me talk about crossing, going down from Mount Hood down to the Deschutes Warm Springs Canyon on my way to Bend the first time, instead of taking the shortcut you're supposed to take, I went way out across that thing and down, and I left government camp and made it to Culver, which is short of Bend, about 30 miles or so. Oh man, that was the most brutal day of my life on pavement. And just coming down was great, man. 70 miles down, man. Woohoo! Or actually, it's about 55 downhill. And you come out of that green Washington, Oregon type foliage into the ponderosa pines and desert. Oh, hear the sirens? Lots of sirens down here. So this is when that's probably like fire engines or something. A lot of fires going on too. I don't go out down here at night. It's weird down at the store. And the bike trails, there's always people sitting right in the middle, all just hanging out. Like the story I told you. Somebody said I was full of it about the story, and I'm like, come on down here and hang out with me. If somebody was with me, I'd probably go out a little more often, but sorry about the sound, guys. It'll be a minute. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I got to pace myself. Yeah, so the other thing is coming down through those ponderosa pines in the desert, I was like, oh, I can make it to this town. It's only, I think it was like another 30 miles. No problem, right? It's flat. It seemed, even though I knew there was a canyon, but it looked just flat. It's like flat, straight to Bend, it looks like. But there's a drop 1,500 feet down into the Warm Springs Canyon Indian Reservation. And that's where I ended up. And there's a casino down there. And I thought, well, if anything, I'll just camp it on the bottom there. I'm never going to make it up and out of there. And I got down in there. It's just this little tight spot. And down by the river might have been okay. but it's a casino and a real sketchy little, seemed like, just had a weird feel to it. And so I got up and out of there, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll make it to this other town called Madras or something like that. Madras. Maybe that'll be okay. Whoa, that place, plywood on all the windows, people walking around, nothing, not just normal people. I mean, okay, not just normal people, not people with places to go. And it was like just every little business I saw was shut down. I was looking for a motel or a hotel. Nothing. Nothing worth stopping for in Madras. And I'm sorry if you live there. Man, that was horrible. That was a really bad. And so I made it to Culver. No, Culver. Yeah, Culver. And I get to Culver and I'm thinking, man, I hope it's a KOA, right? I get to the KOA and it's like a festival, ice cream festival, parade, whole thing. It was wild. Yeah, they said, come on in. We got one spot left. And I was like, oh, man. So I normally would have kept going. And I was like, all right. Thank God, I was so tired. And I thought, and there's kids everywhere. And I thought, I don't care. I just crawled in my tent and went and got some ice cream, though. It was ice cream social. And they had a swimming pool. Hey, now we got a helicopter coming. That's common, too. I'm down here near the border. Any of you down here with me? I'm just south of Temecula, close to Mexico, out there kind of in the palmy, weird desert lands. Lots of old abandoned houses and stuff. I've been tempted to go looking. Now, this is a military helicopter. Yeah, that part of Madras is cool, the rural part, but the town was pretty rough. Well, Klamath Falls is just rough. It's got a rough edge to it. Been there a lot. I have some friends that still live there. It just got a rough. Sorry about that. The economy. A lot of those mountain towns, the economy is kind of. It used to be a logging, and it still is. And the big, what was it? There's a mill there. I know the mill's kind of hurting now. It's just a depressed area, and the people that live there admit it. But it's beautiful. I love riding around there. It's one of my favorite places to go. So I get frustrated a little. It's like and the other thing about riding, if you ever ride through Klamath Falls, and I've had some rough time in there in the middle of the night pulling in, the roads are rough. And but those mountain towns have rough roads in a lot of places. They just don't have a very good road maintenance. They don't have a lot of money. The mountain towns that have the money, you can tell the roads are okay. But man, Klamath Falls, the roads are cracked and it's dangerous. And I hear this from now. There's road cyclists' dream rides around there. They love it, and I've been yelled at for saying it's not good. But for me, going through there as tectonic traveler, just coming through like a lot of tour people, it's a little rough, and the hotels are rough. Hotels are rough. Meth heads, Sorry, I call them meth heads. Everybody's had rough times in their life. I have, but not with that, But some other things, and not that, thank God. But everybody's had rough times. I don't look down on anyone. I'm just aware, and I'm like, hey, I'm just aware. Been messed with too many times, So that's why I got my man purse. But I'm a friendly guy, and as you know from my book, I use the tools and the lessons to get me through. Yeah, so when you write a book, for those, I gotta apologize that I'm not giving. I'm supposed to give little stickers to people. I'm gonna figure that out tonight, because I think it's important to acknowledge you guys who have been here and are popping in tonight on kind of a weird night. I want to tag that. I want to be able to have you. I know a lot of you. But Bob and JW kind of popped up more often today, so I'll remember you for sure. I thank you guys, man. Yeah, thanks, JW. I know I'm a little blunt sometimes. You know, I've lost I've lost some subscribers. This YouTube thing's kind of interesting. I was talking about it on the last live. I've lost some subscribers, which I know there's bots that come in and they weed them out, but I know some people have probably left, and I don't want to be rude, but I'm gonna be who I am, and I may lose some people that way. So, but I care about everybody. I care about everybody's opinion. I'm not political. Sometimes I'll slip in a little something I believe in, but I'm not. I, I appreciate everybody. That's the thing about it is every we're all. I don't like saying we're all in this together because that one kind of bummed me out during that thing that happened. I didn't like that term, but we're all humans. We're just have little different edges to us and all unique. That's all. Hold on while I go sneeze. Hey, a couple other things, everybody. I hate to be so animated. We're not live. I mean, we're not on a video here. Hey, if you guys have to go, I won't be offended. And I know you probably got to go if you got family and stuff, and maybe it's time. You got to work tomorrow. And but yeah, a couple other things I meant to go through here is so this little bag, to Tijuana, right? I try to go light, and it's gonna be hot down there. I was saying I'm not doing those gravel roads down there or anything until I get down to the Copper Canyon. But it's hot, and my arms, I'm pretty fair skinned, but I've been fried on the glacier for years and biking. So I've been carrying these little things here, and these are the arm protectors, And I know I see cyclists right where, so I carry those. And I got this. I'm going to take this, and that's my screen, my little screen coat with a hood, sun protector. I'll take that with me. So my friend Antonio from Boston, when we go down south next week, I looked at this spot. Now there's another guy I've been talking to on Facebook who's on my Facebook, Tectonic. What's my Facebook? Tectonic Tours, and I'm going to meet this other guy. Maybe bike for a few hours down this road. He's familiar with it, and there's good Mexican food. So that's what I'm thinking about doing with him. So I got some things to protect me. I like this little one of these things here. Second that. Always stay true to what is important to your heart and passion. Yep, that's true. I wear this little thing over my head. I have long hair, and I made a video about long hair. If people thinking I'm a girl, so I usually wear my hat my hair under my hat and my helmet. So first I do the hat, and then the helmet, and I wear one of these little things just to keep me. But where we're at, and some riding shorts, extra pair of those. And then this thing, I'm digging this from the Sierras this year, man. My shoulders get basically just comes, and you can get these on Amazon. I don't know if you've seen these. For us long hair guys, or short, So instead of that buff thing, I like this thing, and I can just tie it in a few knots, in the back, like that. So I always, I'm getting a lot of new stuff for this next trip, so I'm kind of still going through it. Hey, I got a gear offer last night. I got to tell you, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. Let's see. Just be yourself, Darren. You win some, you lose some. Exactly. No, I'd rather have you guys that enjoy this stuff. If I lose somebody, they may have thought this was just all like cycling all the time. Or maybe they saw my mystery stories and thought it was just mystery time every day. So, I just have a balance here. And we're getting ready to go out and make more mysteries, but you know what? Hopefully not too epic. Um, I have some good stories that. So I was in the house here, and what's getting ready to happen here is my folks are getting ready to do that surf camp, and so we're all meeting here, and at this Airbnb. So everybody's grouping up, and then they're going up to the surf camp and everything. But they've been telling me I should go with them up to Pismo Beach because of the. But I just don't have time to do everything. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff happening and coming. Oh, so I got a gear offer, and it was about yeah. But you got to be careful on YouTube as a YouTuber, I guess. And I'm learning stuff. Smart wool socks, 2 pairs of the ones that are called bike. I love these things. I've been wearing them out here just because of mosquitoes. So yeah, what it was this girl, or I think she was a girl. This person, Mia, said, "Oh, hey, we just love how you're inspiring, and all this kind of stuff." And God, it felt really good. It made me feel really good, we would like to have you, represent our stuff, I'm trying to remember it's an email and a message. It's on there as a comment on the comments on my channel. So I looked into it, and I was warned about people approaching me when I'm smaller about like cheapo stuff and kind of weird offers and scams. But I found out it's not a scam necessarily, but it's some cheap Chinese gear. Sorry, China. If you're Chinese out there, no offense, man, but come on. The stuff they're trying to, but I'm going to get it anyway. It's binoculars, sunglasses. And hey, maybe it's cool, but the other stuff there was weird. It was like some funky creams and stuff. So they didn't say they were from China, right? I'm looking at the stuff, and you may be able to look at it in my comments. And at first I thought it was a scam, and then I looked into it. Some other YouTubers said, "No, it's just cheap gear offers. You'll get those." So that's what I got apparently, and I did the deal. I said, "Well, send me the whatever you're gonna send me," and so it's binoculars, some glasses, and I didn't ask for any of the other stuff, but who knows what they're gonna send me? It's a media package and some things for free, and then she said if I like them, and if I like to advertise them on there, they'll work a deal out with me. But for me to check them out for some Chinese binoculars and Mia. That's right, Bardio. And then I had some other ones that were just emails. They look at your email in there and send you that way. That's the only one in the comments I got. The other one was for power drink, and then another one was for like a Cliff Bar type of product. It looked pretty cool, like a breakfast bar. And I asked them to send. So they're all sending me stuff. I haven't got anything yet. So when I get stuff, then I'm gonna eat it and use it and try it out. I think I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna look first, and maybe do some review looks. But yeah, that's what's going on here. Famous Tectonic Traveler, man. We're getting famous here. And thanks to you guys, though. Hey, I wouldn't even have that. That breakfast bar may save my ass. I might be starving someday soon and have that little breakfast bar. So, hey, I got some new stuff, though. And you might have seen these in one of my videos recently. I just went back through my bag. So gloves, yeah, I take gloves. But I don't wear shoes. If I do wear shoes, I do have a pair with me. And I use these. These are great. It's the Superior Ultra. Am I saying that right? I've had 3 pairs and I can't even say them. Love these suckers. These are all dirty because I wear them sometimes. And they sit on the bike. Yeah, electronics gear. Definitely. I'm waiting for that. I should be getting some soon. I don't know. I got a bunch of emails. I got to open them. Okay, so foot gear. I wear Chacos, you know, and they make them with the little clips for bicycling, but I don't want clips. I don't want to be clipped to my don't want to be clipped to my bicycle. Heavy load. I've lost. I've been hitting the gravel sometimes and being clipped in or even toe clips. I just don't want them. I'm riding near big trucks, logging trucks, gravel shoulders. No freaking way am I going to be clipped to my load. So I got good at not. Everybody says, "Oh, you need the clips to lift, you know, get your momentum," and I don't. I know how to. Now I get into my momentum, and I've been able to use that. You'll get it. You'll get it down. You don't need to be clipped in, but if you like it, I get it. So I use these. And oh, what about your feet? Don't they get cold? And I wear. Oh, like if it's chilly, I always wear my smart wool. Yeah, yeah. These you can get them with Vibram soles and these, and then the shoes. Yeah, Bardo, man, look on them. Look online, read about these guys. Ultra, ALTRA, I believe. Look at I've worn it out, but I've had three pairs. This is my third pair, and they're on my. I have some. There's pictures of my other ones on somewhere on there. Those are the shoes. I can hike anywhere. Now you can put gate. Look at they come. You can get these gaiters that go with these, and they got this little Velcro. The gaiters go on. It's got a clip here. Really badass shoes. Now for the Chacos, I wear these dry socks with the Chacos if it's raining or real cold, and I'll even wear. I got them big enough to wear the smart wool underneath those. So that's my footwear. Anywhere around the world, anywhere, snow, whatever. I have a gator over boot that goes over that if I really got turned, you know, if I really got screwed or whatever. And yeah, you know, and then I got this here, you know, my big warm face mask, balaclava. I got the big bomber one going downhill in the morning, you know. Woo! Got your neck covered and not co- don't you hate when the air goes up inside your coat, you know? I'll just wear this and sometimes it's just a lighter jacket, you know. So, yeah. Anyway, we got that. And so so here's the way I look at this. You're in the desert, right? I don't look at this. This is what I know. Is you're in the desert and you think, "Oh, it's going to be hot, man. You're going to do an overnighter." Well, unless you do it all the time, you know, you probably already know. But that little bag of stuff there, that hot weather and cold weather stuff, and your little coat and some pants. I don't know if you've seen my overpants. I take I take it every time. Even that one, I'm not gonna get cold. I take that stuff. It gets colder than shit. Now, I've got one coat, and if I want, I can have that and no sleeping bag and have all that stuff on me and just huddle up with the tarp around me and bivy, and I'm okay. I mean, you know, I'm kind of that way. A lot of people wouldn't like that, but you know. And then I can also appreciate going to a what do I want to Marriott beautiful mountain resort and staying in a beautiful feather bed. So I like the best of both worlds, you know. And I've been like that my whole life. It's not because I'm getting older. I got into when I was younger. I was in tourism, and I was in tourism in Alaska and all over Arizona. I got deals on nice hotels, and Trudy, my former wife, Coach Trudy, she she worked for she's worked for a lot of companies, but she was in tourism big time, and she worked for several flight scene companies in Arizona. And we get to go stay at these beautiful resorts for free, like $1,000 a night room, you know, and just great. And here we are, you know, kind of poor people staying in these beautiful places. Anyway, so I like to rough it. I can rough it. I can sleep at a snow cave for weeks at a time. And as long as I have food and coffee and all my other little goodies, then I'm all right. and I need my goodies. So otherwise, I'm not okay. I got to go back to town. I'm just like any other human. Tectonic traveler. Even with the book, I still need I need my goodies. Anyhow, yeah, that's how it's going here, man. Thank you guys for. Oh, and don't forget. So someone was asking me, Darren, you're in black. Everything is black. You know, everything is black, just about. And one of the reasons I started going black was going dark was just because I wanted to be, if I'm stealth camping or getting out on the highway early, going in late, and just low key, low profile. I've never wanted to be too flashy all the time. Even on climbing trips, I just didn't wear I got low profile colors, naturally, natural colors and stuff like that, not camouflage. And so, yeah, I I went with the black for a lot of reasons. Some of it was just unintentional, right? And then I thought, well, I'm always going to have this to put on over that black when I get out on the road. A lot of times I have this over the back of my bike on my trunk bag, which is my big bag that goes on the back rack back there. So if you're going to stealth camp, and I'm sure if you guys have heard me talk about that plenty, if you're going to sneak off into the woods with the bike, hopefully it's a flat terrain, he's bailing off into the woods, and you have this off, kind of hanging out there as the traffic quiets down. I always wait. I can't hear anybody. All right, putting that away. And then turn off all the lights, and then into the woods. That's how I do it. And then in the morning, first thing I do, and man, this is the first thing I do, is I get up early, right, and I can hear traffic kind of starting to pick up, and I have my jet boil, JW. You asked me about still. I have my jet boil, my water, my coffee. I have everything right there next to me in the tent. And then I fire up my coffee, and then I start packing up things. And so then I get my coffee going, put it aside, pack up everything, and then roll up by the highway. Stash the coffee as I go, and then I sit there as it gets light with my coffee, and then finish up my coffee, let it get light enough, be there close to the shoulder, not on it. And then as it's getting light, I just bump up onto the highway, put my high visibility thing on, put the coffee cup away, and get going. Have my bagel while I'm riding. I eat a little bit while I'm riding. And then I get a ways down the road, and it's been light for a little bit. I stop and have a little something to eat, or if there's a little town, I have breakfast, and get a night if I can, and it's the right situation. I get a really big breakfast, and that's it for the day. I don't need any. I'll eat other stuff, little stuff along the way, and wait till evening to eat again, depending on the terrain again, how much you're burning, and all that. Yeah, as long as you have Bart, like I said, it might not seem safe. You just always got to remember to have something on you. Otherwise it's too many colors. And same with the tent. If you haven't got a tent yet, anybody here listening, and you're gonna get a tent soon, try to get a green tent. Unless you don't like that idea. If you don't get a green tent, you can get the that green tarp that's on the ground over there. They're all over Amazon. Get yourself a good quality tarp. That's one thing I learned about tarps. Being a guide and a rafting guide down up in Alaska, we use tarps like crazy. Even the old big blue ones, we just trash the heck out of them. And so Tarp Craft was big on raft trips and climbing trips. We wanted to be able to rig everything bomb-proof for wind, and everything's bomb-proof. That's the way it had to be. So tarps, yeah, I know something about tarps. And grommets, you want to get good grommets. Hey, hello, I haven't talked to the Orbis. Hello, where are you? Oh, you're I saw you earlier from Argentina. Welcome. You're in Argentina now. I'm in Southern California. Right on. Sorry, I'm yelling at you. It's not like you're there. Hey, down there. So, welcome, man. So, haven't been to you yet, but Colombia and down a little bit further. Oh, I've been into like midnight BART because I had to, but I don't do that. I always get set up before dark. Klamath Falls, I ended up there in dark time once, and that was oh yeah, what time? It's 23:36. All right. Oh wow, sleepy time. You're awake. I got to get down there. You know, everybody's riding to South America. Obviously, you know, you see YouTubers all the time heading down, and I've spent a lot of time there, and I haven't done the whole ride. But sections coming up this year, I'll be coming down. So I'll be in your neighborhood. And if you ever get up here, let me know before you come. It's cold there. Yeah, I heard. Well, I wouldn't think so. It's wintertime. I have a friend who's on a bike there right now. She's not a YouTuber, but I've seen a whole bunch of them. They come from Alaska, where I've spent a lot of time, and all the way down, or the other way. I think people prefer to come from Alaska down south, you know. Aconcagua, yeah. See, many friends climbed Aconcagua. I'm a guide, or was. I'm a veteran guide, and many of the people that I've climbed with have climbed Aconcagua. Mi español no bueno. Estoy aprendiendo lento. Even all the time in Colombia, muchos años. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to go see that down there. I want to go see the, you know, like there's a lot about. I'm a climber, so Argentina has been my best friend, my climbing partner. You weren't here a little bit ago. Pat, who I've climbed all over the world with, he's been to Argentina. He came down by himself. Went to Patagonia. Gracias. Yeah, the Colombian family helped me with my Spanish, and then you know, sometimes if I don't spend a lot of time around everybody, then I get green. I forget. Oh, that's right, I forget. But I can make it through. Are you do you ride a bike down there, or you just you know, I was telling everybody a little while ago, just we're talking about everything here, you know, hiking and biking and camping, but climbing. I haven't had any climbers really on here. It's all just been us kind of hanging out together talking about. At least I don't think I have anyway. Tonight was a an unplanned, like it has been before, like an unplanned live stream. Oh, you got the okay. You got the trek. Right on. It's good to have a bicycle. That bike back there looks a lot different than when I got it. That's a transform rock hopper, now called the road hopper, named by Bart Bartiomeo Bartomeo B, who's on here with us right now. Yeah, I don't bike at night, Bart. I mean, I try not to. In Colombia, where I was up in the mountains, we would bike around and up in the neighborhood of the store at night and stuff. And it was it was a good neighborhood. It was up in the hills, and you could hear the traffic coming. You could hear somebody coming, motorcycle, whatever, and we just pull over. But it was never like pitch black, when we were out. I'm not a night rider. If I do, the Klamath Falls issue was I actually came in on the train and to Klamath Falls from Eugene, and I needed to get to my motel, which is a good distance, and it was dark, and they don't have like any taxi dependable like Uber or anything. I tried it. Hey, if you're going to Klamath Falls, they don't have Uber. They might, but they don't come at night. They're at the bar usually, I heard. Anyway, so I rode to the hotel, and that's when I hit big potholes and cracks in the road in the middle of the night, and people were gonna. It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I sure appreciate you guys getting on here. Orbis, yeah, it's late for you, and I I appreciate you being around here and chatting with us. We'll be doing more, that's for sure. I'm still editing stuff from the Sierra trip I just did, and but I've been so busy just doing you know this kind of stuff and repacking and cleaning up the bike, and then working on getting another bike that I haven't really edited all the Sierra stuff, just little bits and shorts. As you can see, I do shorts, and I'll do the shorts for a lot of the biking stuff. And give me feedback on that. I think a lot of people get bored just watching a long bicycle ride down the road, but I do have some that I'm editing that I'm going to put out, and trying to be a little bit more interactive and stuff rather than just sit on the bike and show you the road. But I've got a lot of that. Yeah, I'm 63, right on, man. Cool. Good. Yeah, I mean, and you probably have good, healthy food down there, huh, Orbis? The one thing I love about Colombia, the food, the produce, and I'm a meat eater. I'm a carnivore, and the meat is really good. They don't pump up the meat with anything there. Um, the vegetables, I mean, avocados this big. Avocado. I can't even taste the bananas here in the States anymore unless I go to a good Hispanic market, and pick up some good Mexican bananas. The little tiny ones. You get these big bananas here in the U.S. Alaska is the worst. Alaska, everything's flown in except for the summer produce. Big cabbages, 24-hour sunlight, the big veggies, but only a certain amount of things. So South America, I mean, I couldn't. I was a healthier human and am every time I'm there that way, in food wise, guaranteed. Color of my skin's different. It's a whole different feel. Close to the equator. $10 meat. Wow, $10 a kilo. Okay, amigo, your president. I don't get political, but I kind of like that guy. I don't know if you. Sorry if you don't like him. We don't know enough here, We don't, but man, that guy is. I like to feel, and unless I'm wrong, because I'm not there, I like to feel that the way things were going there in some way. Now I'm not seeing it like from your perspective. It may be a whole different thing, but yeah, I know it's cold. Yeah, yeah, the fruits, peaches, pears, lots of Volkswagens. You have a lot of Volkswagens down there, don't you? A lot of Germans came down to Argentina. My friend. So check this out. I have a friend from Argentina, and his name is Herman, but it's spelled German. And his family, his relatives are half Argentina, and he has German descent. Blood mixed. They're all mixed in his little town. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, know. Do I get that one? Join the club. Italian. Okay. Hey, bouncing. Balancing Bike Life. I was looking for you. You were here the other night, and my live chat feed's gone. And I was like, who do I remember? I was trying to remember who was here, and I remembered you. And I was looking for you in my feed or in my comments. So I'm going to find you. Leave a comment in my comments so I can, because I don't have access to the feed. Something's wrong with the browser. They're trying to teach me how to fix it. Glad you're here, man. Been here a while. I'm probably going to have to go soon, but I'm going to hang out since a couple people just got on. I don't have a life this evening. I do. I got to go pretty soon, but trying to repack things for in case I go to Mexico next week with my friend to Tijuana. I don't know if I was telling everybody, I don't know if I want to go with a guy who, he's more of a party guy. I'm not. I mean, I like to have a great time and stuff, but I'm not a late nighter, hanging out and bars and stuff like that. And he's younger than me, so I don't know. Might not be. We'll see what happens. Piedmont. Turin. Used to live there. Okay, London. Really? Oh, so you've been all over. Right on. Looks like we've got 6 people here still. And I'm not sure if I'm talking to everybody, but if you haven't been talking to us, feel free to ask a question and dive in. I don't want to, I'll just start rambling on, and I don't mean to block people out and ask questions. I got gear strung out, all things thrown all over the floor here because I was talking about gear. We were talking about the man purse earlier, but I'm going to make a video about the man purse tomorrow and how I secure this thing when I'm traveling. And like I was saying before, I've been robbed and beat up a couple times, so I hope that I've learned some lessons and been able to share some that might help. I always carry a crappy old credit card that doesn't work and a little bit of cash, very little. And if I'm in another country, I will carry what's that noise? An old cell phone even that's broken. And I'll hand that stuff over to somebody on if they're trying to rob me. So, and a lot of times they'll go away with that. Sometimes they won't. No, I do not drive. I mean, I don't drive in other countries for sure. If I have to drive here, it's because I have to. But I don't. I prefer not to drive. Colombia, no way am I going to drive. Gringos will ask me, hey, should I rent a car when I go down there? I go, no, do not rent a car. And somebody even said, should I buy a car? A guy who just moved there, and he got advised on that one, not buy a car. It's the craziest drive. Now, I've been to India, and it's crazy driving. I wouldn't drive there either. But Colombia is a real trip, and you got to go. You got to know, like Argentina may be the same way, but it's a groove. It's a flow. Everybody knows how to do it. And if you try to get in there and act like you know how to do it, unless you know how, you're going to throw it all off and probably cause an accident. So I just stay out of that flow. I let everybody else do that. Your truck's from London. Okay. You brought it over? Right on. I go everywhere with the bikes. I have a bike in Colombia. I have a bike up in Northern California. I have a bike in Pennsylvania. But none of them are expensive bikes. I keep telling people, except the Aurora Jamis is it's a medium. Not real expensive, but it costs some bucks. Steel frame. You feel secure there? Okay. Colombia, no. Not in the city. Up in the mountains, depending on where I am. It just depends. It's all regional, you know, and it depends on who I'm with. If I'm alone, yeah. If I'm with like one of my Colombian friends, and yeah, no worries, you know. I have a story, a video I'm gonna make pretty soon. I've been trying to figure out how to tell it, but to make it sound true because it's so outlandish and so weird, no, you know, no one's gonna believe it. So I've been trying to like, oh, pretty soon here, figure out how it could be done in context, and it's about being stuck in what used to be the worst neighborhood in the world, as Comuna 13 out on the side of Medellin. It's a neighborhood, and I had a girlfriend there. Bad mistake. Yeah, so Bart, I did some riding around my dad's house in Doylestown, and not enough, but I did some, and the roads were so narrow. It was hard for me to get used to, um, because around his place, the roads there's no shoulder. There's like nowhere to go. So I kind of got frustrated, and so you probably know some great places to ride. So when I come back, hopefully we get to hook up and you can take me somewhere because I'll have the bike with me for sure. Yeah, definitely. But Colombia, yeah, the riding. Oh my God, Colombia is my favorite place for riding in the world, for sure. I'm sure there's other places that are great. It's famous for that, though. You know, lots of the. What I love about the city, Medellin, is the bike trails are separate from the road, and there's trees in between, sort of thing. You know, it's totally separate most of the time. You just got to be careful at the intersections. You got to know the flow again. You know, there's no stop signs per se. It's kind of yielding everywhere and stoplights, and you can, you know, if you're I my first bike trip in Medellin, I almost caused an accident because I didn't know how to flow. You know, but anyway. Yeah, body language. You're right, Orbis. Feeling secure. Yep. Moving so body. I talk about that in some of my videos. Is yeah, it's all and how all that energy, that vibration you're carrying with you, like we were talking about in my book. Um, JW's gone, but he bought my book, and we were talking about vibration and how what you're putting out, you know, and what you're bringing in, and when I'm writing, you know, some people say, "Oh, you tell all these scary stories, and that creates bad energy." And I go, "Well, not really. To me, I hope it's not for you. For me, I'm just telling a story, and somehow in there maybe there's a little tip. But yeah, I'm always trying to. I'm not trying. I'm going with the flow, and everything I'm doing, I'm just trying not to worry too much. As soon as you start worrying and getting scared, you're moving too fast, and then mistakes happen. And even when you're as mellow as I am, it's still going to happen. Yeah, tolerance. You got that right. Nailed it. You are correct. Sorry for you're in Argentina, and I'm sure you get it, but like some people that talk to me from other countries, I have a lot of slang, California old cowboy slang. Got that right? You know, they don't get it. So I apologize if I throw in slang sometimes, and then my unclear speech, English or whatever it is, whatever we call it, language. Yeah, you know what, guys? I think I'm gonna head in. There's some mosquitoes coming out now, and I'm gonna go in and wrap it up. But appreciate you guys being on here. I really do. That's really cool. You guys spending time out of your evening is it's like me. You know, that's precious time. So I feel honored you guys came over. Thanks, Orbis. All right, good. I'm glad it's clear. Well, I hope you've seen. I don't know how much of my videos you've been watching, but Orbis or any of you there. But I hope they're helping in some way, or I hope they're interesting. Sorry, I'm kind of sorry if some of them are a little monotonous, but they will continue to come out. And if I can improve, now there will be some. Let me know if there's something I'm missing. But my new microphone's coming. That's going to help. And I'll still just be me, filming on the go pretty soon as we, and combining that with sitting around and talking to like we're doing now, which I think is really important. And I appreciate you guys all helping, and all you guys that bought the book. And if you didn't, that's okay. You can always look at it and read little bits of it, and I'll talk about it. And you can watch the videos. The book's almost you probably just watch all the videos and you read the book. I'm all about balancing the load. So thanks, you guys. Wait. Always show your bike. Wait. Sorry, Emma. Thank you. The biking infrastructure has improved, but yeah, that's good. It's been a while since I've been out there too. So, Orbis newer, I am. Always show your bike in the background. Yeah, I do. I don't know if it's good or not, but it's there with me all the time. So I'm usually messing around with honestly, most of the time I'm messing around with bike related stuff, the revamping of my book, getting ready for trips, planning stuff, and all the stuff that my father-in-law, who just died, left me. I'm going through a lot of that, who was a geologist, glaciologist. And as you know, I'm into glaciers, and that was a big part of my life. So lots going on, man. And my daughters live close by, so visiting them. I'm actually pretty soon here. It's been a while. It's been almost a month, but they're real close by on the coast. So we're gonna hook up probably next week. They have a busy life. Good night, balancing bike life, man. Come back again. I hope you come back. I'm gonna look for you. I was looking for you the other day. All you guys who were here, I remember you. Thanks, Bart, man. It is an extension. Looking forward to the tunes. Looking forward to all you guys. I'll see all you guys soon. Thanks for coming over here. Clean up my mess now. The other night I left this on, walked in the house. I was talking to people. I even said, Bardio gave me money. I celebrated you. That kind of stuff, that's a big deal. Just people out here on the go. I was telling somebody, if you're still here, anybody, I was telling someone about my book and how, like, when I'm traveling and I'm somewhere up in the mountains or anywhere, in some town, hanging out, or in my hotel, and I look at my account and somebody bought one of my books or two or three, and I'm like, wow, look at there, they bought me dinner. I mean, that's how it is. That's it isn't like, hey, somebody bought 100 books, or I'm gonna go buy myself a new down coat, or it's like, hey, I got dinner. Hey, isn't that cool? So anyway, yeah, thanks you guys. That's been really cool. All the chats. I'm gonna keep doing them. And also, if you're still here, leave comments about the gear and some things you want to know about. We're gonna do tarp craft and all that good stuff coming up soon. Can't forget the man purse tonight. And all that good stuff. Somebody just come on. Hey, if I'm ignoring you, you just came on. Sorry. We were here for a while. We were just wrapping up everything. Went over some gear, just some old talking, and if you haven't been here before, we're talking about bikes, camping, hiking, and some good stories. I've been doing story time in between trips, and I've been going over the bike, the rock hopper, road hopper deal, making improvements, and looking for the new bike. Looking for the company that's going to help me with the new bike, because I can feel it coming. Otherwise, I'm going to keep advertising Specialized road hopper. Right, Bardio? Thanks, man. I'm reading everything as we go here. Orbis, are you coming back? You said glad to know you. I'm glad to know you too. It sounds like you're leaving forever. Hey, good. I'm glad you came in here and visited with us. I'm reading as I'm talking here. All right. If you just got here, I'm kind of wrapping up, but if you got any questions while I'm packing up these bags here, you see I'm packing up the mess. I was going over gear and the man purse, and I'm going to go over this one more time since somebody just rolled on. And it's kind of an important one, you know. It's getting dark though. So this is when I'm riding. I got sick of this thing, you know, when I'm riding, and it's like going in front of me like this, you know, and riding. You can have a computer bag or anything, and that just gets annoying. So, hey, there's 8 of you. So we're wrapping it up, and I'm showing securing the man purse real quick. And instead of a money belt, when I'm traveling, I'm getting ready to go to Mexico next week, so I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to do this like I usually do in South America, whatnot. And I just, you know, take this belt here and I wrap it around one time. I'm making a video about this tomorrow. And I just one time around one side of it. Just one side though. Right? You guys probably know this, but this has really helped me. Now, I knew I was going to do this for years. I thought, you know, I'm going to do that. It's really driving me nuts. And so I put the belt on there, and I just, when I'm rolling through a bad area, like a bike trail, might be dogs or people, then I just kind of move this in front and unzip it. I'll stop and get it ready, unzip it, and then I'll carry on down the trail, you know. And if, you know, I have my bear spray, you know, whatever in there. And, you know, I always have this thing to scare the shit out of the dogs or whatever that's, you know, excuse my language. And that's a little horn, and that'll scare anything. I always have that and pepper spray. And then regionally, I have something else in here, depending on where I am and what the laws are. So, you know, just have that right on you. And this, depending on where I am, passport, everything in here, and my protection. And if I get rolled off my bike, which I have been before in South America, I got that right there. So thanks you guys for watching. If you just got here, sorry we're leaving already, but we're going to be back a lot. And I appreciate your support, you guys, everybody who came over to chat tonight, and feeling strong and healthy and happy. And that's it, man. Love all you guys. Thanks, Orbis. Thanks, Bardo. Thanks, everybody. Just like that. Since I'm wrapping it up, I'm going to keep filming until I'm completely cleaned up and show you a couple things in case you're still there. I don't have a kickstand. So, I'm always leaning my bike up somewhere. But I got the weight on the front, right? And this thing just like falls over and turns. So I got these lacket straps, just a strap goes from the frame. We'll do it in a video. It's kind of far, but and I strap that front wheel to the frame like that, and that keeps the bike from rolling and turning, and you can lean it up, and it's just way better. Otherwise, you can lean it up against a tree that way, right? Because if you lean it up this way with the weight on it, the wheel's going to turn and it's going to fall over. So, and you can buy these straps on Amazon. I have it turned the wrong way, but they're called, well, you can get them. Just look for tire frame. I don't know what you call them. See how that turns like that? I've got it strapped up there to the corner of that building, but it's just a Velcro strap with a loop like that. You can make your own. These are called lacket, and I've worn them out. Love these things. They came in a pack of 6. And so like tonight, I want to leave this here, and it's cool. You can just lean it up. I always put my foot down there. Hey, since you're all here, I lean it up against a tree. I put my foot down there, keep that going like that, and you get this system down. Otherwise, you're looking pretty squirrely, and you're trying to. So you just get a system down like that. Boom, you're off and rolling over here to grab your cup of coffee or go do whatever you do. So anyway, if you just got here, we've been here a while. I'm just wrapping it up and packing. But I'm glad you popped by for that last little tip. And Central Command's going to go to bed with the solar panel. No shortage of sunshine for the solar panel, even though I don't need it. I always carry my rubber gloves, like for working on the bike, but I carry some gloves, breaking sticks and firewood and working on the bike, rough, I'm out in the mountains and desert, like sticky stickers and bushes and shit. So I want a pair of good gloves and my regular, good gloves for warm weather and all that. But these are, when you're traveling like I do, you got to have work stuff, because you're out there making camp and you're always doing, it's like a job, So, all right. I'm still holding on to my new computer box. They make such a nice box, don't they? Thanks, you guys. Sleep well.